Thank you, Program Director. I spoke to Candice and said, Candice, give me the takeaway point. So he told me that the speaker before me will do that. So those takeaways are there. The things that must be done are there. So I am just going to be like a politician and read the speech that I had written. As I was here, it was not prepared before I was writing it as we were speaking, so that we get over and done and we go home. Salome Meyer from Cancer Alliance message must ring a bell, and that bell goes like this: where you live will determine whether you live. She reminds us that 84% of the population depends on the state to provide them with health services. She also reminds us that 80% of oncologists are in the private health practice. You don't need much to understand that South Africa is the most unequal country in the world. You live it daily. That is why we are meeting today in Rosebank, where those with opportunity and privilege live, and we are not meeting in Alexander or Tembisa or Kagiso, where the underprivileged and downtrodden live. Using the lens of the Minister of Finance, his choices are now influenced by serving the needs of those who eat caviar and down it with a single malt whiskey in Rosebank, avoiding being associated with the Heineken drinkers with nothing to do in Alexander, Tembisa, and Kagiso. The discussions of today, based on the topic of understanding health financing landscape and its options, need to reflect on inputs made on 1, prioritizing prevention and early management in South Africa's health care system, why prioritizing community health systems makes sense, and lastly, on why making cancer and by extension the non-communicable disease a district priority. At the center lies universal health coverage and national health insurance as the choice for South Africa to provide universal health coverage. The implementation of the national health insurance in South Africa represents one of the most important reforms in our democratic history. At its heart is a simple but powerful idea. Healthcare should not depend on your income, your employment status, or your postcode. It should depend on your need. We must link this advocacy to the legal battles that are going on regarding the NHI. This is another platform for us to go legal and defend what must benefit the people. To achieve this, we must integrate both our health services and our health financing. For too long, South Africa's health system has been fragmented. We have parallel funding systems, separate public and private systems, and vertical programs operating in silos. The fragmentation has deepened inequality. It has created inefficiencies and limited access for millions of our people. Integrated health financing under the NHI will change this. As we know, the NHI will pool funds into a single health insurance fund built on the principles of equity and solidarity. Those with greater means contribute more, and everyone receives care according to need. The NHI will, 1, replace duplication of coordination, out-of-pocket payments with financial protection. And I know as I speak, others are talking about the DG of Health. He is not the definition of the safeguards that we need to have with regards to money that is pulled together. If he chose to do what he did, he chose that, and he must, deal with the outcomes of that particular process. Because many times people tell us that the monies will be in the pockets of those who want to loot it. If it means that we must send the bombs that are flying all over the world to him, that's what we need to do to protect the NHI and access to healthcare. A critical pillar of this financing model is the role of health taxes. South Africa already uses general tax revenue to fund public health services, but under the NHI, this approach becomes more deliberate and strategic. progressive taxation that will include but not limited to personal income tax and reallocation of medical scheme tax credits will allow South Africa to build a national risk pool that spreads financial responsibility fairly across society. These pool funds must be guarded with all might so that those with corrupt ideas do not put their hands into this money. In addition, targeted health taxes such as levies on tobacco, alcohol and sugary beverages should play a dual role. They should, A, generate revenue to strengthen the health system while simultaneously discouraging harmful consumption that drives non-communicable diseases. In this way, health taxes not only fill financing gaps, but also promote prevention, reduce long-term costs, and reinforce the public health objectives of the NHI. But integration is not only about money, it is about service delivery. It means strengthening primary health care as the foundation of the system. It means integrating HIV, TB, maternal health, cancer, mental health, and chronic disease management into one coherent, person-centered model of care. It means strategic purchasing, paying providers for quality and outcomes and not just volumes. Through transparent governance, strong accountability, and phased implementation, the NHI will build a system that is efficient, equitable, and sustainable. Ultimately, integrating health services and financing is about fulfilling the promise of universal health coverage and advancing the constitutional right to health care for all who live in South Africa. This is not just simply a technical reform. It is a moral commitment to dignity, equality, and social justice. This must happen in our lifetime. The battle must continue so that we transform South Africa. Our lives must not be determined by where we live and how much funds we have. It must be determined by living the preamble of the Constitution, which I want to remind all of us what it says. We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of our past, honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who have worked to build and develop our country, believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. We therefore, through our freely elected representatives, adopt this Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic so as to heal the divisions of the past and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights, lay the foundation for a democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people and every citizen is equally protected by law, improve the quality of lives of all citizens and free the potential of each person, and build a united and democratic South Africa able to take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations. May God protect our people. Nkosi sikelele Africa. Morena boloka setjhaba sa heso. God sien Africa. Or hot sien Africa. God bless South Africa. Mudzimu fatutsetsa Africa. Hosi katekisa Africa. That is the preamble to our constitution if we have forgotten it. As I conclude, Program Director, thanks to Tax Justice Network Africa, without whom this convening could not be possible. We also give thanks to Rural Advocacy Project, RAP, and the Health Tax Alliance for bringing us together. We thank all the speakers, physically present and online, for taking their time to prepare for this engagement. Most importantly, we thank you as the participants, both in person and virtually, for investing your time to make this convening a success. The message here must go to those who could not attend, but stand to benefit when what we advocate becomes a reality. Drive safely and have a nice rest. Thank you, Program Director.